Hello and welcome to the latest in our Inlet Asia Plus series. The Plus series will highlight a new riveting topic every month. In this particular month, we are focused on grid modernization, in which Minsait are hosting a discussion about the smart grid future in Asia. Be sure to sign up on our webinar, which is on the 23rd, and registration is now open, so be sure to sign up. But now back to our speaker. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Juan Ruiz from Minsait. Juan Luis, it's good to speak with you again. Thank you so much for agreeing to chat.
Thank you very much, Melissa.
Yes, welcome. Okay, so first to start off, can you introduce Minsait and what are your key areas of business and markets in which you operate?
Yes, sure. Well, Minsait is a company of Indra. Indra is a global technology and consultancy company headquartered in Spain with revenues of 3.2 billion euros a year, more than 49,000 employees, and local presence in 46 countries and business operation in over 140 countries in a lot of technology sectors such as transport, security, defense, digital transformation, consultancy, and information technologies. Okay. Minsait is the company 100% owned by Indra, in charge of all the IT, consultancy, and digital transformation activities. Minsait provides over than 60% of the total revenues of Indra in sectors such as public administration, financial and insurance services, telco, media, and energy markets. I work in the energy market, and for the energy business, we provide solutions and services since more than 25 years to 500 energy companies in more than 50 countries in Europe, North and Latin America, Africa, Middle East, and also Asia Pacific and Australia. We cover the whole value chains of the energy and utilities market with our own product portfolio and strong partnership ecosystem, and service capability in areas such as strategic and IT consultancy, system integration, business process operation, a lot of things.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. And I know that you're located in Madrid, and I also know that Minsait is a major player in Europe, for example. Can you talk us through some of the recent projects you've been involved in with utilities there?
Well, sure. In most of our biggest clients are in Europe, such as Iberdrola or Naturgy in Spain, Enel in Italy, EDP in Portugal, Scottish Power, CEPS in Central Europe. We are doing a lot of things for all of them. I would highlight a number of projects about renewable integration and distributed energy resources, where we are developing real-time management solution for all of those assets and demand response measurements to optimize consumption and the performance of the grid. We are, of course, implementing classical solutions in areas such as operation and maintenance of power plant, transmission and distribution management and operation systems, smart metering. But in all of those projects, I would highlight some differential aspects because we are using a massive amount of digital technologies. We are maximizing the useful lifetime of the grid assets and getting the relevant savings in the operational cost through the use of technologies such as big data, real-time analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and we are integrating huge amounts of information and data sources for doing that. Also, in some other projects, we are applying real-time management solution for the low voltage network, which require a full integration between IT and OT technologies at all levels, from the backend to the edge of the grid, and we are doing that in our platforms. In other projects, let me say this because I think this is interesting also. We are combining artificial vision, IoT sensors in order to improve the safety of workers, or a combination of some of those technologies and technologies that I mentioned earlier, with drones for the inspection of the aerial grid. And these are also some important activities that we are doing in the region.
Yep, and I've definitely heard a lot about drones actually recently. So I feel like that's a new trend, definitely, that seems to be kind of rising. What other trends do you see developing, or have you seen develop in the US or Middle East, where you have considerable operations? And how do you see these being adopted here in Asia?
Well, in the Middle East, we are working in several interesting projects. We focus on the digitalization of the relationship with the end customer, which will allow us to shorten the invoicing cycles and to reduce, I would say, dramatically the number of complaints in our clients. And we are also implementing some smart metering project with 100,000 or even millions of points that are strategic for us and that apply perfectly to this region. Big data and analytics apply to predict peaks of demands, customer behaviors, consumption patterns. Definitely something very interesting. In the US, I would highlight DERMS, which includes distributed generation, storage, demand response on one side, and the other side, the consumer, let's say prosumer-centric approach, where the end client of an utility have a real incidence and impact on the way to manage the grid and how to define full customized energy services are relevant area also. Those areas for me are a global change driver for the power business and apply perfectly here to need to modify the whole power system. Must employ multifunctional and standard-based and modular systems to promote and allow the interoperability between all of those new areas, activities, and items to have lower costs and improve reliability by integrating and analyzing multiple information sources based on their timelines, locations, and availability. These new requirements, new trends, finally, what we require is to have a power grid with distributed intelligence that has potential to significantly increase the operational efficiencies of the electric power system and resulting in benefits to realization through additional cost savings. So these are the trends, these are the kind of projects that we are implementing, and these are the needs that apply and has to be tackled in the region and I would say worldwide level.
Absolutely, fair enough. With that being said, what positions does Minsait, what are they able to support the region's development and maximize the opportunities these trends bring to the region's utilities?
Well, let me see. I would say that we have a number of strengths that make us confident, very confident in our possibilities. On one hand, we have the biggest portfolio of management and operation solutions for electricity, water, and gas companies on the market. It allows us to cover the entire value chains of this sector, from generation to customer management and advanced energy services, including network management and operation solution and smart metering. Okay. On the other, our strong commitment, the strong commitment of our company in the digital transformation activities and sustained strategy on R&D investment, which allow us to place our solution on the technological cutting edge and to anticipate future trends and needs in the sector. Also, I would say that the recognition of the main analysts as a top product vendor and service provider in areas such as smart grid, smart metering, customer information system, digital grid enablement are an important value that we can put on top of the table. And finally, probably is the most important that I would say is that we have more than 25 years of experience in the sector and around 500 energy companies worldwide, including very relevant companies in the ASEAN countries as clients and users of our product and services. All of them will be able to speak about our commitment, reliability, and they could say that we define a long-term relationship with all of them, trying to become a strategic technology partner that advise and accompanies them in their growth and transformation processes.
Thank you for answering that. And considering keeping Asia in mind, can you talk us through Southeast Asian projects you've worked on? I know you have a quite strong presence in the Philippines, for example, so maybe you could start there.
Yes, sure. We have a number of very relevant projects, for example, in Taiwan and India, where we deployed our SCADA and EDMS solution, and where we have production and delivery centers on smart grid technologies. Okay, we also have an interesting number of power generation projects in the whole region. We provide ETRM services to many countries from our office in Australia. In Australia, we also have one of our flagship projects at worldwide level, since we are working with the Monash University in a very ambitious project focused on burns and microgrids, which was even awarded several times at worldwide level due to its innovation and energy savings results. The Philippines, for us, last but not least, is one of our strategic centers, not only for the Southeast Asian region, but also at worldwide level. We are working in the Philippines for more than 25 years, implementing more than 200 projects every year. There are more than 1,400 highly qualified engineers in our office in Manila, providing solutions and services for the region, and also providing relevant capabilities as a regional competence center for global offshore development projects. Some of our most strategic clients in the utility sector are in the Philippines, such as Meralco, Aboitiz, Maynilad, or Manila Water. Definitely is a strong added value that we can provide for this region.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I didn't realize that you had that large of a presence in the Philippines. So thank you for sharing. Now we have the webinar coming up on the 23rd, and in the upcoming webinar, as part of the Inlet Asia Series Grid modernization session, you will be outlining some of the solutions you have available for effective data management. So can you briefly outline why data is such an important consideration for Asian utilities, and why your solutions provide them the edge in managing it?
Well, we mentioned earlier some of the new trends in the energy sector at worldwide level, and all of them mean a new way to manage information, much more information, and much more heterogeneous data than never before. And we have to do it in an accurate and very fast way. The process of change in which the energy sector is immersed is undeniable. Participation, increased environmental awareness of the population, change competitive dynamics with the new digital actors and consumer trends, while new regulatory pressures are rising everywhere. So the value of data is a competitive advantage, and therefore utilities must pass from a processes-driving company to data-oriented company, seeking to generate direct impact on the income statement. Finally, this is a new business paradigm in which data rules. There are important challenges in this context to add value to data, such as to get analytic integration and holistic view of different business domains, asset operation or customer management, with enrichment with external variables. Starting, this has to be the endpoint, but the starting point is the classical isolated information silos existing in the typical transactional system. This is a challenge to pass from the current situation to the final and ideal situation that you need to be adapted to the new environment. You have to see how to verify and qualify in the right moment and in the right way all the new information coming from many different sources, internal and external sources, real-time and non-real-time data, structured and non-structured information. How to add intelligence on top of those information, adapted to the specific needs of any utility, and enabling continuous generation of new value in order to have a fast and proactive response capacity. How to apply all of this, that is not easy, in different areas such as generation, distribution, retailers, to get the maximum level of quality and efficiency in the management of your assets, your resources, your customers, having also forecasting and forensic analytic capabilities, behavior patterns to monetize every step, every issue, every decisions, and every action is what you need. this is what we are explaining and what the solutions and real cases described in the webinar are providing. So I think it would be very interesting for the audience.
Great, thank you. And I think based on what we talked on already or spoke upon, I think I may know where we're going in this direction when it comes to this question, but I'd be curious to hear what you have to say. So would you say that Minsait is looking to expand your position within Southeast Asia and Asia more broadly? And what kind of partners are you looking to engage?
Well, for Minsait, having an ecosystem of quality partners and collaborators is an obligation, it's a must. In order to maximize the quality of the service to our clients and to increase our access to both current and new potential clients. Our strategy when we arrive to new places is to stay there for a long time. And to be successful on that, you need to have a quality local support to grow. We already have a very important number of global and local partners in many of the geographies where we are present, and that is what we want to develop in the ASEAN countries. New sales challenge, engineering, and system integrator companies are the profiles we already operate in many countries, and these are the kind of companies that we are looking for. This has to be a continuous process of searching and improving the best local talent and capabilities. I think that we are fully convinced that this is the only way we can maintain our formula for the success and growth.
Absolutely, and it'll just take time, but I'm sure you'll find the right partners to kind of adjust with
Hopefully.
During the time, yes. Hopefully, indeed. Was there anything else that you'd like to add today, Juan Luis? I think that's all for my questions today.
Well, I think that we cover a lot of things. Minsait is a company that is betting a lot for growing in the region. As I mentioned, we have the right capabilities, the right solutions, the right approach. Well, we are here to stay, as I mentioned. So hopefully the audience will know about that in a very short time.
Absolutely. Upwards and onwards. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share your expertise with us, Juan Luis, and we look forward to seeing you on the webinar.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.